Every man thinks he'll know when something's wrong. But betrayal in the digital age doesn't announce itself. It hides. It hides in apps that seem professional, in photos that look innocent, in money transfers that appear harmless. Each one feels small on its own, but together they form a secret system most men never notice, until it's too late. That's why awareness is your greatest weapon. In this video, I'm revealing 5 digital red flags every man should know. If you've ever doubted her story but couldn't find the cracks, this is where you'll finally see them. Most men believe that checking text messages, call logs, or maybe even a quick glance at social media is enough to know what their partner is doing. It feels simple, logical, and even responsible. But here's the unsettling truth. Many conversations that matter the most never happen in those obvious places. They're happening in apps that look harmless, apps that were never designed for romance at all, yet get repurposed into secret communication channels. And the reason this matters is because trust isn't broken in one loud explosion. It's chipped away slowly behind layers of digital camouflage. Psychologically, women who choose hidden apps aren't necessarily choosing them because they look rebellious or suspicious. They choose them because they come with believable cover stories. An app that looks like a tool for work, a hobby, or family organization feels safe to use because no one questions it. She can smile and explain it in one sentence, and the conversation ends. That's how invisible walls are built, through explanations that sound completely reasonable on the surface. Here's where most men make their mistake. They underestimate the creativity behind secrecy. They assume infidelity must be obvious, so they overlook the subtler, smarter tactics. They tell themselves, if she were hiding something, I'd notice. Not realizing that the cover stories are designed to make you feel exactly that sense of reassurance. What looks like harmless organization, music, transportation, or even financial planning can be flipped into tools for invisible intimacy. And this isn't about paranoia or snooping through her phone every night. It's about awareness. The goal isn't to spy, it's to recognize patterns that don't make sense, patterns where the story doesn't match the behavior. Because once you understand how these digital disguises work, you'll see that it's not about the apps themselves, but about the choices behind them. So as we dive deeper, I want you to keep this in mind. One app by itself might not mean anything. But when you start noticing behaviors that don't line up with the explanations, that's when you need to pay attention. Now let's walk through the 5 most common apps that women quietly turn into secret channels and uncover the truth hidden right in plain sight. Number 1. Signal, the app that wears the mask of digital security. On the surface, it looks professional, almost boring. Many companies recommend it for sensitive work communication. Families use it for private group chats. Husbands often feel reassured, even proud, thinking their wife is being cautious about online safety. But behind that clean interface lies a weapon of invisibility. Signal's disappearing messages are its sharpest blade. Every conversation can be set to vanish in a matter of hours or minutes. Imagine a string of romantic texts, detailed plans for a secret meeting, or even late-night confessions of longing, gone before sunrise, as if they never existed. Even if you picked up her phone, the trail would already be erased. And unlike many apps, Signal makes it nearly impossible to capture evidence. Screenshots are blocked, and if you somehow try, the app notifies the other person. That means what you think is proof will slip through your fingers before you can hold on to it. More sophisticated users go a step further. They create a fake cover group, maybe with her sister's number or a coworker. That group looks harmless, filled with occasional innocent messages about groceries or family events. But while you see that, the real conversation is happening in private chats that disappear within minutes. The group becomes camouflage, a stage prop that hides the actual performance happening backstage. I've seen women keep Signal on their phones for months, claiming it was for a book club, a charity group, or professional security. Every time they were questioned, the answer rolled off the tongue so easily. And because Signal does look legitimate, suspicion faded. That's the genius of it. The excuse feels more convincing than the truth. But here's the real red flag. If Signal is installed, but you never see any trace of actual work or family conversations, you need to pause. If she insists it's for professional use, but she never mentions those supposed colleagues, ask yourself, what conversations are really disappearing? The lesson here isn't to assume guilt the moment you spot the app. Signal has genuine purposes, but when its presence doesn't match its supposed role, it often points to something much darker. A hidden channel that exists only because someone wants their words to vanish before you ever know they were spoken. Number 2, Google Photos, the app that wears the mask of family memories. At first glance, it's the most innocent thing in the world. Organizing photos, creating albums, backing up precious family moments. It feels like the responsible thing to do. Husbands often smile when they see their partner taking the time to carefully arrange pictures of vacations, birthdays, or the kids. But beneath that wholesome exterior, Google Photos hides one of the most subtle and dangerous tools for secrecy. Here's how it works. Google Photos allows the creation of hidden albums. These albums don't appear in the main gallery, and unless you know where to look, you'll never even know they exist. A simple selfie taken in an office bathroom can quietly become a signal. A quick snapshot at a coffee shop can confirm the meeting spot. And every one of these photos carries invisible metadata, the embedded GPS coordinates that reveal not just the picture, but the exact location where it was taken. Without sending a single text, a partner can say, "I'm on my way," or "I'm here now," just by sharing a hidden image. The deception deepens when sharing comes into play. Two people can exchange entire secret albums, filled with coded photos, screenshots of messages, or personal pictures. To anyone else, Google Photos looks like harmless cloud storage. But within those invisible albums, an entire relationship can unfold in silence. I've seen cases where women used this app for months to coordinate meetings. She'd take an innocent selfie before leaving work, and her partner would instantly know she was heading out. Another photo at a coffee shop confirmed the location, while the husband at home thought she was simply organizing family memories. The visible albums stayed full of smiling group pictures, while the hidden ones documented a completely different life. So what are the warning signs? Watch for sudden bursts of photography without any new photos showing up in the gallery. Notice if she talks more about organizing pictures, but you rarely see the results. Or if she seems to spend extra time with the app, but there's no visible payoff. That disconnect, the effort without the evidence, is where the truth often hides. Google Photos is chosen because it's normal. Everyone uses it, and having it installed raises no suspicion. But when normal usage becomes obsessive, or when pictures vanish without explanation, it may not just be about storage. It may be about creating a shadow album of moments you were never meant to see. Number 3, Spotify, the app that wears the mask of a music hobby. At first, it seems harmless, even healthy. She tells you she's diving into music discovery, exploring new artists, building playlists, and expressing herself through songs. To most men, this feels like a positive change. Who wouldn't want their partner to have a fun, creative outlet? But beneath the rhythm and melody, Spotify can become a powerful secret language. One of the most overlooked features is collaborative playlists. These are playlists that two people can build together, privately, away from prying eyes. A song added at midnight might carry a message more powerful than any text. Imagine a track titled "Meet Me at Midnight" suddenly appearing, or "Secret Love Song" slipping into the queue right before the weekend. Each edition becomes a coded message, words unspoken, hidden in plain sight. And it doesn't stop there. Spotify also allows short voice memos about songs. Most people don't even know this feature exists. But for two people living a double life, it becomes the perfect medium. A quick voice note about a track can disguise a heartfelt message or even detailed instructions. The sophisticated ones go further, recording private podcasts disguised as music reviews. These uploads look like commentary on albums, but are, in reality, personal letters sent back and forth, hidden behind the facade of a music obsession. I've seen couples create entire emotional timelines through Spotify. 17 playlists, each one representing a chapter. Coffee shop vibes for casual meetups, late night feelings for private confessions, road trip songs for weekends away. To anyone else, it's just music, but to them, it's a diary that sings their secrets. What are the red flags here? A sudden, intense obsession with music that doesn't match her personality. Playlists filled with songs that feel out of place, overly emotional, or strangely specific. Headphones always in, hours spent curating tracks you never hear. The disconnect between her old habits and her new passion often signals influence from someone else. Spotify is chosen because it improves her image. Being into music makes her look cultured, expressive, and interesting. Friends and family applaud the change, never suspecting the playlists hide an entirely different story. But when songs begin to speak messages that don't sound like her own voice, it's time to ask, whose feelings are those songs really expressing? Number 4. Uber and Lyft, the apps that wear the mask of responsibility. On the surface, they're about convenience and financial organization. She may say she needs a separate account for work expenses, or that she wants to keep business and personal rides separate for tax purposes. To most men, that explanation sounds perfectly reasonable. So reasonable that some even encourage it. After all, who doesn't admire a partner who takes charge of her finances? But behind that cover story lies a transportation system built for secrecy. Here's the key. Multiple ride-sharing accounts create two different realities. On the main account, everything looks innocent. Rides to work, the grocery store, the gym, maybe a coffee shop near home. But on the secondary account, an entirely different map appears. Trips downtown during supposed overtime. Pickups near hotels or hidden corners of the city. Routes that don't match the story she's told. It becomes a shadow itinerary, invisible unless you know where to look. The sophistication grows when timing comes into play. She might coordinate her hidden rides with another person's schedule, arriving at a location just minutes after he does, leaving with enough precision to avoid overlap with her main account's activity. In some cases, she'll even use the app's live location sharing, allowing him to see her approaching in real time, without a single suspicious text exchanged. I've seen this play out over months, even years. One woman maintained a secret Uber account for more than a year, using it twice a week. Every Tuesday and Thursday, her main account showed rides home from work. But her hidden account revealed trips to the same downtown district at the same precise times. She'd stay exactly 2 hours, then take another hidden ride to a shopping center, switching back to her main account for the trip home, complete with bags in hand as proof of a fabricated story. To her husband, she was the picture of responsibility. In reality, she was running a meticulously timed double life. So what should you look for? A sudden new interest in expense tracking, especially if she never cared before. Talk of separating accounts or work travel organization that doesn't match her actual job demands. An increase in rides without a clear increase in charges on your shared account. The inconsistencies are the cracks in the facade. Uber and Lyft are chosen because they're normal. Everyone uses them, and managing expenses seems admirable. But when normal becomes overly calculated, when numbers stop adding up, That's when a simple ride can reveal a path leading straight to the truth. Number 5. Venmo and PayPal, the apps that wear the mask of financial responsibility. At first, they look like simple tools for splitting dinner bills with friends, paying for small purchases, or managing casual expenses outside of shared accounts. A partner might even frame it as a step toward independence and maturity. I just want to be better with money. But hidden beneath this narrative is the perfect cover for a shadow financial system. Here's why these apps matter. Money leaves a trail. Hotel rooms, gifts, dinners, rides all cost something. And when someone doesn't want that trail appearing on a shared bank account or credit card statement, apps like Venmo or PayPal become the escape hatch. A $50 transaction labeled coffee might actually cover half the cost of a hotel room. A $20 payment marked gas money could really be reimbursement for a romantic dinner. The descriptions are public enough to look innocent, yet coded enough to send a private message. The social features make it even more deceptive. Venmo, for example, defaults to social transactions, letting her send a payment with a cheeky note. Coffee yesterday was amazing, or can't wait for next time, looks like nothing to most people scrolling through. But to the one person it's meant for, it's confirmation of intimacy, a breadcrumb in their private trail. I've seen women maintain these systems for nearly a year, sending and receiving small sums that, when pieced together, told the story of an entire relationship. Weekly coffee, charges that aligned with secret meetups. Payments back and forth that added up to weekends away. And all of it invisible to the husband because it never touched the shared accounts. So, what are the red flags here? A sudden new interest in financial apps when she never cared before. Payments to names you don't recognize, or money received that doesn't have a clear explanation. Transactions that don't match her stories about where she's been or what she's been doing. The amounts may be small, but it's the pattern that reveals the truth. Venmo and PayPal are chosen because they make someone appear organized, responsible, even generous. Who questions a partner who seems careful with money? But when responsibility becomes secrecy, when money starts flowing in ways that don't make sense, it's no longer about budgeting. It's about building a hidden economy, an economy of betrayal, financed one transaction at a time. When you notice one of these apps on her phone, it doesn't always mean something sinister. Signal, Google Photos, Spotify, Uber, Venmo, all of them have legitimate purposes. That's what makes them such effective covers. But here's the critical point. When 3 or more of these apps appear together, combined with unusual patterns of use, it stops looking like coincidence and starts looking like strategy. This is where men often get trapped by denial. They tell themselves, it's just music, or she's just getting better at finances, or everyone uses Uber. And yes, taken in isolation, those explanations make sense. But secrecy doesn't thrive in isolation. It thrives in layers. One app hides the messages. Another hides the photos. A third covers the money trail. A fourth erases the transportation history. Each one serves a purpose, and together they form a system. The truth is, affairs are rarely messy in the digital age. They are calculated, every app chosen for its camouflage, every explanation rehearsed. What looks like responsibility or creativity on the outside is often precision planning on the inside. When you see 3 or more of these tools working in tandem, it's not paranoia to take notice, it's awareness. And that awareness matters because the hardest part of deception is not spotting the lie, it's admitting the possibility of it. Many men ignore the signs because the alternative feels too painful. But closing your eyes doesn't protect you. Recognizing the pattern gives you back the clarity you need to make decisions with strength. If you find yourself noticing these patterns, the next step isn't panic. It isn't about grabbing her phone, demanding explanations, or turning yourself into a detective. That only feeds chaos and erodes the dignity you need to protect. The real path forward is to reclaim control. Not over her, but over your own emotional state. Because when trust is shaken, your stability becomes the anchor. The first step is observation. Watch for consistency. Do her stories align with her behaviors? Do the apps she uses match the cover stories she tells? This isn't about catching every detail. It's about seeing whether the pieces of her narrative fit together or fall apart. Quiet observation gives you clarity without confrontation. The second step is conversation. Approach her calmly, without accusation. When you frame your questions around curiosity instead of blame, you give her the chance to reveal the truth herself. Ask about the purpose of the app. Ask how she's using it. A deceptive answer often unravels on its own when given the space. And if her response doesn't sit right, that discomfort is worth paying attention to. The third step is escalation, seeking guidance if needed. Counseling, trusted mentors, even legal advice in some situations. This isn't about overreacting, but about making sure you have support while navigating something painful. No man should have to carry suspicion and hurt entirely alone. Protecting your mental health isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Remember, the goal isn't to hunt for betrayal. The goal is to protect your peace of mind. By understanding these hidden digital behaviors, you're not becoming paranoid. You're becoming prepared. You're choosing clarity over confusion, strength over helplessness. And in relationships, that clarity is everything. At the end of the day, technology doesn't create deception. It simply provides the tools. What matters most is how you respond when faced with the possibility of secrets. You can spiral into fear, or you can stand firm, steady, and informed. And that choice will determine not only the future of your relationship, but the strength of the man you choose to be. Trust isn't lost in one dramatic moment. It often fades in silence, hidden behind apps that look harmless, stories that sound reasonable, and behaviors that seem responsible. What we've uncovered together are not just 5 apps, but 5 digital disguises: Signal, Google Photos, Spotify, Uber or Lyft, and Venmo or PayPal. Each one can be used for innocent purposes, but each one, in the wrong hands, can become a gateway to a life you're not supposed to see. And when 3 or more of these tools start appearing together, it's rarely coincidence. It's a deliberate choice, a system designed to erase, to disguise, to protect secrets at the expense of your peace of mind. The truth is uncomfortable, but clarity is always better than blindness, because your relationship deserves honesty, not digital smoke and mirrors. What matters now isn't whether these apps exist on her phone. It's how you choose to respond if the patterns don't add up. You've seen how disappearing messages can erase words before you ever read them. How hidden albums can document a life you weren't invited into. How playlists can whisper messages in coded lyrics. How ride-sharing accounts can build false alibis. And how financial apps can cover entire trails of betrayal. But you've also seen something more important. You don't need to react with rage or desperation. You can respond with calm awareness, with the strength to ask the right questions, and with the courage to protect your mental and emotional stability. Because in the end, being a man of clarity is far more powerful than being a man of suspicion. So if this message opened your eyes, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe so you never miss another lesson on how to defend your emotions in a world full of hidden tactics. Hit the like button if this gave you the clarity you needed. Share it with other men who might be facing the same doubts. And drop a comment with your own experiences. Your story might be the key that helps another man see the truth in his own life. Because in love, control isn't about spying. It's about clarity, strength, and the courage to see the truth.